Hello, I'm Will Forge, and today we will forge. Let's see. Oh, mic is over here. Cable's all wrapped around. Well, I'll fix this while people are getting into stream. And switch over to the correct, chat on screen for myself so I can actually see what's going on a little better. Let's see. Boom, internet, there we go. Okay, so today we're putting the other one aside for the moment as we work on this. Now, I might rotate the light of the sky to be able to see this a little better. So right now we're at 49. That's the wrong direction. 49. And we're at 359. I'm actually going to copy that, 359, and we're going to rotate this around. There we go. Just so we can see the stone a little better, a little clearer. So as you can see, it's coming out nicely, but I do need to move this a little better. There we go. Okay, now, the intention here, is that this will be a slope leading up this way that is playable and pathable, and especially by vehicles, but that it will be part of... Okay, here's what we're going to do. I need to get a little reference up here. Let's see. So... whenever you have tectonic plates push into each other, one of them goes over the top, one of them goes under the bottom. Let's see. And whenever you have them open, of course, it widens up a big old gap. Here, I'll give you a little example images of how it works, where they end up doing this. Okay, they'll widen. You can rise up and push them out, or they can split, they can go over, they can shear, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so what I want to do, what I like the idea of doing is, let's see, what's it called? Geological layering. Visually, let's see, here's some geological layering. That is literally rock that got curled from, the earth shifting. There are all sorts of different layers that have all sorts of different colors you can end up with, like purples and stuff. Here's a, check this out. This is just really cool. Nav sandstone, Chianti formation. Yeah, you've got all this stuff. Here's another great example. And it kind of, like, they're exaggerating the coloring here, but in real life it does actually take on all sorts of different shades, right? Here's a great example with these, like, strips, but also, oh, here you go. This is a wonderful example with all these different shades of color, right? We can do something akin to that. I don't know that we're going to be able to put the actual stripes of color on there. That's a bit, difficult to accomplish, but we can do layering that's similar, the way that we've been doing it. Something more like what we saw in the Grand Canyon in those pictures that the other day. Let's see. Now, let's see. So some much more zoomed out, shifting stones. Now, this is a great example of how, the stones are, where it's closer to water, it's a different shade. So we're going to want to incorporate that kind of thing, where it gets lighter going up because the closer to the surface it is, the lighter it is. But also, whenever you have fresh rivers and, like, stuff growing down at the bottom, it gets lighter around that as well. You see? So, that's what I want to do. I want to get that visual accomplished. Now, the thing about it... Ooh, here's a good image, if it'll load. Yeah, there you go. So basically it's lighter up here, it's redder in the middle, and it's lighter down here because there's a riverbed. So we're going to be doing, we have some stuff going on too. Pog, yes. So I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and set it up to have my little display down. Nope, that's not it. Display capture. There we go. Just so it's in the corner, so you guys can see what I'm looking at the time, even if it is gonna be tiny. But yeah. So I shifted the light so that now we can see over here, and I'm gonna shift it back if I want the sun to be in that little crevice there again. But yeah. So what I am thinking, let me try to visualize this for you, to show you what I'm doing. So come on, let me give my mouse. Okay, here we go. So we've got what looks like a simple box canyon, right? But to make this feel less, what do you call it, symmetrical, at the same time as still trying to maintain the general overall shape, you know? Like, we don't need to have this mountain here and that mountain there. This was always just a placeholder. So what I have in mind is, if there was a geological shift, like, okay, I thought of this last night while I was trying to sleep. Want to see what I'm making right now? Sure. Sounds great to me. In the meantime, so what I was thinking last night was I really wanted to do, like, it occurred to me that I could do, like, whenever, you know, geological, you know, shifts occur, like I was describing before I think you joined, but whenever two tectonic plates hit, they can push to make a mountain, they can push like this to make sort of like a cliff, they can cause it to curl up like that even, they can, and sometimes they can like shear alongside each other and all sorts of stuff like that, but what I'm interested in is whenever they overlap each other like this, right, and they sort of become like a hill, and like a really big hill, and or a small mountain. And what I was thinking is that if I create a dividing line somewhere in here, right, along this line, and then somewhere maybe this way, something to that effect, I pick a direction basically, and I make it to where all of that was a split between two tectonic plates, and this side is layering over that side, so you could see the colors over here curling down into the ground, and the layers over here curling up, and then becoming a cliff that sort of cuts off, and I would be the same thing over here, cliff cuts off, and it would feel very much like, you know, very accurate. But what I would do is not pick this as my line, because the bases are on that line. Okay, give me 10 minutes. Okay, that line right there is a little too perfectly lined up with the bases and stuff. I might pick something more like a curved line like this, that's sort of like implies this sort of like over here it's layered over, and over here it's layered over, but then like over here would be just high enough to be you know, a barricade, but then over here would all be super high and it'd be coming up to this. Now the question is, should I do that on the lava side or the snow side? Like, which side do I think should be the higher side? And I'm thinking the snow side right now, mainly because if it's like, basically the ground will be going out really far over here, and you just have like if you go out there, there'd be a soft kill zone, so you just wouldn't want to walk out that far. And if you do the same thing over here, it'd be the same. But anyway, so that's basically what I'm thinking, is that we can do that essentially, make it look like the ground is layering over itself, generating lighting or lights. Okay, cool. Sounds good to me. Little cave here by accident. Okay, so essentially this geological layering is very it's okay, but it's not tall enough, I feel like there's not enough of each section, you know what I mean? I might want to like to make it do the curl thing. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it to where this, okay, just trying to feel out exactly where I want this curl to start so I can get a good base layout around these buildings. One thing I might want to do is copy over the base of this building. So that's what I'll probably do next. I need to fix that. I forgot I was going to add a building there, or part of the building there. Never did. Or haven't yet. Okay. so we're going to grab everything, including this red piece here, and that'll be the part that I copy over. And I'll just copy over the stuff that's in the base, all the scalable stuff down here. And let's see, grab that. These two boxes I never replaced because I went off to the other map, but eventually I'm going to replace those. Okay. Let's get these little block out designs. Try and make only the stuff that's static, none of the dynamic objects. I don't need any dynamic objects right now. Okay. I think that's only dynamic objects. This rock will be different on the other side too, so I don't really need it. Okay. Then we will duplicate, rotate 180, let it sit for a second, select and deselect that one, so it's my hitting some kind of dynamic object or something. I need that to be my snapping point, and then you'll bring it over here. Hold it for a second so I don't mess it up. Doesn't look like Halo. Something out of my comfort zone. Doesn't look like Halo. Really? That's cool. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I can delete one of these, and I need to select the one that's red. Let's see, which one of these is the red one? Do I have the red one? No, I have the blue one. So I need to find it where it says plus. There we go. This should be the red one. There we go. Now I've got the blue one and the base of this building over here. That looks good. Very nice. Very nice. I don't have that one blocked out over here either, so I might have to grab that base as well and move it over. But let's see. And it's not mountains. I'm experimenting. Cool. That's very cool. Let's see. Oh, I'm still in the wrong chat. I went back to the wrong chat. There we go. I guess I'll put into Discord so that Ripshade knows what's going on. Let's see. Let's see. Announcements, I guess. Working on the... me and Klen's heavy script desert map at the moment. Let's see. There we go. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. That was riveting, I'm sure. Okay, sorry. Alright, let's see. Xbox screenshots are busted, so you'll have to see it through my phone camera. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I knew about that, but that's, that'll have to be the solution. Did you send it to me yet? Let me go into yours. Okay, I'll just wait till you send it to me. For now, okay, so what do we want to do here? We want to make this... I think that what we want to do is probably... Okay, if this thing is having a geological layering, then there's going to be a whole lot of red over here. Like, this may not need to be here as this one. I might actually need to do another red one there. So I'll probably find a good positioning for this to match that. Not exactly certain how I put it there. believe I rotated it. Let's get that off of the 180 rotation. Let's just go ahead and grab the... Oh, yeah, where is it? Position, rotation, here we go. This one's rotation is... Oh, okay, I can just do this. There. And then I want that to go up into the red. I mean, into more of the, you know, the brown up a little higher. Light gin taking its sweet time. Yeah, no, I know the feeling. I don't think I've generated lighting on this one in a while. It's causing the shadows to act all funky at the moment. Okay, so this is going to be like, I want the layering, I want the lines to imply that it is tilted. There's a bit of a curve to it. To really sell this whole idea that there's geological layer, you know, layering going on, which will actually help my slope form. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. I didn't really think about that as one of the plus sides. But yeah, if I have this sort of, you know, my horizontal lines are not going to be perfectly horizontal. They're going to be slightly tilted here, and that will allow me to, yeah, create this effect where it looks like it's sliding down here under that, and in the back here it's going to be especially apparent because what we're going to do is tilt it like significantly back here. Let's see. Hi, hey Mr. Greencastle, how's it going? Let's see. Why, Will Wilco? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. See, so basically, that tilt down, as you can see, what I'm doing right now, Mr. Greencastle, is taking a slight break from the space-only map, just for a bit, so I can do a little bit more in nature, because every now and then you gotta sort of clean your palette, so you have an idea. Because you get all these, like, pent-up, like, inspirational thoughts about, you know, your other map, and you gotta jump into it every now and then just to clear your mind of those overwhelming, like, oh man, I really need to go over there and do this. Oh, I really want to do this. I really want to do that. You know what I mean? Let's see. I can actually just use camera for this because it's nature scenes, so that's fine. Yes, exactly. So, let's see. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create this effect of, you know how whenever two mountains layer over one another, you have one that is, like two tectonic plates go like this, you know? One of them slides over, one of them goes under. We intentionally pick different art styles to pick so we don't get burnt out from map to map. Yeah, and I wasn't yet feeling the burnout, but that's whenever you want to switch and then come back to it later because you don't feel, like, you don't lose your stride, you know what I mean? So yeah. So basically, whenever tectonic plates hit each other... Wait. Excuse me. Whenever two tectonic plates hit each other, they push and one of them goes on top of the other one, or they push and they turn into a mountain, right? Well, I want to do two of them going on top of each other. So one of them ends up getting curled under while the other one goes over. And I'm trying to show that right here with the geological layering we were setting up before. And I feel like this area would be ground down into like dust due to this. Because it's the top layer, it's the softest layer, and it's getting really heavily hit, you know what I mean? So we're going to turn it and find a good spot that matches, and then we're going to try and make that look like, I kind of want to do, you see that little slope, how it's got that nice little slope there, I kind of want to do that into there, just right, so that it'll feel like it's sort of like been pushed down into there, like cracked into it and stuff. Let's see if that looks any good. I'm not so certain about that. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna do this then. And the idea is, I want to make it actually connect over here, that this area basically is getting the most damage from all of this grinding and, you know, layering. There we go. And then we're going to put some of this on top of it to really look like a fold in the rock. Like this area got raised up and went right over that area. And so I'm going to have like this dividing line you can see run all the way through the map, where on both sides the same tectonic plate is, this side's tectonic plate is rising over that one and sort of burying it, so to speak. And we're going to sort of make that look pretty cool. Let's try to also make this make sense with the map's structure so that it doesn't, so it's not messed up. I feel like there should be a way around the back side of this, just because it would just be a dead space right here in this corner if I don't have a path there. So I am going to probably have it to where like the Unity sort of dug this area out. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to hit the X button first. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to do this. And I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put some of this down here. And see how this looks before I go ahead and... Let's see. Right, I still got it on object. Let's go to world. Let's see. Okay. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is raise it up like this, so that I can kind of get a good rough edge like they dug in it. I kind of want this where are the cables? Where are the cables? There is literally a section in accents called wires, I think. Yeah, wires, and there's cable at the top, cable cap, long cable, curved wires, Unity hanging cables, and then Unity hanging wires C, D, and E. So yeah, they're in accents, wires. Let's see. What I'm going to do is put this layer under here. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I got an idea now. So I'm going to put this layer under the machine and let the machine sort of be exposed just a bit. And then I'm going to put some of this red above that. And I'm going to... I need to grab your other... Aaron, I need to get your new version where you've got the where you have the what do you call it? What was I gonna say? The new rocks you found, the ones that are part of the rings, from the 400 rings. I need to get some of that from you. So I have to. Did you put that in your prefab that you released yet, or is that still in the works? Because I'm going to need that with those extra rocks pretty soon. There we go. Now this thing can go soon. I'm probably going to need to get rid of it like pretty quick. So this will basically connect my red to red and be like they dug out down to here. Is this playable? Not yet. No, this is not really nicely playable yet. This doesn't look right. I would say this slope needs to be more like that, so it's a way out. It does not still work. It still does not work, I mean. Let's see, this doesn't match my geological line idea, so let's go ahead and keep that line going in the correct direction by rotating it around and using a different part of the rock, instead of trying to tilt it to where the line does not make sense. We can do this. Yeah, there we go. Well, let's make sure that that's actually... Yeah, you can get out of that pretty nicely. You can also get out over here. And then what I'll do is I'll make that make more sense later with some smaller rocks there. Where are the cables? Oh yeah, that's still the same question. Okay, so we have that. Now I want to put some really big rock flats out here that will make sense with the rest of the map. And I kind of want, if I can, to give like a sort of subtle hint that this is the edge of the map. This is where the UNSC... I might actually put some flags, like UNSC flags. They'll sort of warn you, hey, you're going too far. You know what I mean? Because it would make sense that they would sort of outline their testing ground, or their you know, what do you call it? Their test field. My brain isn't working. Whatever they call that. Whatever the military calls that, I can't really recall. I actually kind of like this roll off a bit because it's going farther. You see how it's like this part got hit and then started curling up more, whereas this part got to go over easier. So it's a lot smoother there, so it would be able to go farther, but it wouldn't end up going as high. So this area looks like all broken up, like it got higher and then it broke. So I'm going to need some nice dark red rocks here. So for example, if I go over to these, which are still in their prefab, what I'm going to do is duplicate. And Aaron, I need to make some that match your desert rocks, specifically the dark red one. So let me grab one of the dark red ones and find out which colors you chose for this one, because I need to basically reverse engineer your work here. 0.9 orange with a, ooh, cool, rust 2, nice. Man, you did some cool work there, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I don't need any of these right now, so I'll turn this one into one. Actually, let's see, yeah, I guess I will. Color... Did you use the same concrete for all of them? I don't know how you do the rubble. This is different. Okay, hold on. Tarp dark borderless. So you just left that... Oh, that's right. That's the inherited stone, so there's nothing... You can't really do anything else. Okay, well, I will go with what you did for now. Right here, 0.9. Which makes it look like that. I have no idea if I'm doing this how you would do it, Aaron, but I think that rust layer is going to be the main thing that really... I'm going to put them all the same, and then I'm going to adjust them. Down here... Oh, I put 0.9 instead of 0.09. Is the top one 0.9 as well? Ah. There we go. Okay. I don't know if this is going to be the correct color, because I don't think I've picked the same texture that you would use. 0.09. Because it's all on the concrete and the granite. Let's see. Okay. And you had rust here. Rust. I don't think I want scratches, because that'll put it... You probably do have some scratches, but... let's see. What did you do? Nope. 0 scratches, because that makes it white. And you weren't going for the white. Okay. So, for some reason one of these is still very gray. But I think we want to go with what you used over here as your base. Concrete wall poured rough. Oh, okay. You did continue to use that. I guess here. Rock granite clean. Ah. So you switched all of them to rock granite clean over there. Maybe I should have started with that one over there. Yeah, I'm beginning to think I should start with this one and copy it and then bring it over there. Okay, I'm just going to come color match it this way. Okay, so this almost matches this one. I feel like it matches closer to this one. But I needed to match this one. So... that instantly matches better than the other. Let's just see what switching them all to this one. Oh wait, I gotta get out and go back in. And then go to the next one. Aaron, whenever you get back, let me know if I'm doing the right thing with these. That basically matches. Okay, we'll just do that for now. Let me know if you can do it even better. Let's see. Now, first off, I want this to have lots of large chunks of rock. These do not do well with large chunks of rock. I don't mind creating a difficult terrain section, but I think that we're going to want to do less of these pretty soon and more of something else. More of the other rocks that you had created. I know this is detailing it a bit, but I just want to see what this looks like a bit early. You know what I mean? It's a little bit early to detail this bit, but I want to see what this looks like whenever it is properly, you know, adjusted real quick, like little test area. You know what I mean? Let's see, that rock being inside that other rock is not what I'm going for. There we go. That's pretty good. So now we have slightly smaller rocks, slightly smaller rocks. I'm going to put some really small rocks right down here. Excellent, turn on snapping. Let's see. Okay, sent. Cool. Oh, I see it. Yes. You might have seen that pop up on the screen, and it didn't. And I saw it in my peripheral, but I hadn't actually turned to look yet. So there's a good little pile of rocks. Probably a mess to climb up. Actually, not that bad. That sounded like Kevin Coolx. Not gonna lie. Okay, this is very much outside your comfort zone, but looks amazing. Yeah, I like this a lot. That's really cool. It's very, you know, I imagine that a lot of the, what do you call it, insurrectionist planets probably have a lot of brick on them. Because it's easy, it's a material that's really easy to make from just dirt and drying it. So there's probably a lot of districts where the UNSC doesn't have full control over the planet or whatever, or hasn't, you know, they only built their original orbital, you know, platform. Hey, Photography Studio, how's it going? It's got a puddle there on the floor, if you didn't notice. I did actually notice that. I was admiring that. And I'm not sure exactly how you pulled it off, but it's really cool. Yeah, it just looks really cool. I like how you're using your knowledge of natural terrain, which is more about like feeling it out and getting it to, and sort of envisioning it and sort of getting it to be right. And then you're using that for trash, which is like, you know, it falls naturally into place as well as it's been dumped. So I like that. And you're keeping a little bit of your comfort just right to be able to pull off something that's way outside your comfort zone. So I think that was a really good idea to do that first. Let's see. Could be doing better. How about you? What about you? I'm doing pretty good. We're switched temporarily to back over to the desert biome, and we're working on that today. But let's see. That's actual water from Myers. The floor is out of sandbags. Oh, clever. Why is it not letting me grab this and bring it back over? It let me move it over there without minimizing the image, but it wouldn't let me bring it back. But yeah, that is really, really cool. I love it. This screenshot you got also captures this fire really well, by the way. You timed that well. It's got this cool puff and everything of flame. But yeah. Are you thinking about arting a map that's full blown like the whole thing instead of just the outside the area? Very nice. Let's see. That's cool. I'm playing Minecraft right now to finish a project I've been working on for some time. Nice. So is this high enough geological, you know, layering? I don't know. Maybe I want to make it a little bit thicker across the board. Like I started making it thicker there. I didn't really raise these pieces up. I think I might want to do that. Or maybe add another color up top. Let's see. This one. This one is different. Let's grab some of this and bring it over and see what this looks like. It'd be really cool. I'll throw it up on Twitter once screenshots work. That sounds great. Oh, was thinking about it. Yeah, as this is just a test for puddles. That would be really cool. I think I would love to see a full-blown map done by you. I just figured it out. I'm gonna do this layer at the top, and I'm gonna replace it with this layer for sure, in between. Unless you think I should put this on top of it, but I think this is the, I think the best way to go is to replace all of this with this rock, you know? Now, one thing we can do to make this, okay, so this is all going to be higher, which means all those rocks that just placed down there, all those pebbles. Let's, okay, I don't know what's going on there, but it won't let me undo it. Anyway, we're going to grab all these rocks, and we're going to move all this with it, actually. We're going to go even higher to there, and we're going to add a layer between, because I kind of do like that slide and transition that we have set up there. But I want another geological layer between there. Let's see. You really need to bring back recommended screenshots. As Wilco proves, you can take some awesome custom photos from scenes you build. Way better than ever. Yeah, I agree. That was from Halo... I mean, that's from the Xbox One, right? The recommended? Because I skipped that one, so I'm not entirely certain. For sure, they really need to bring that back. Yeah. I want to say, am I wrong about that? What's that from? That's from, is that from Halo 5 or is that from the Xbox One's just like stuff? That was a Bungie favorite in Halo 3. Oh, the you're talking about like on Waypoint, right? Articles where you do that. Is that what you're talking about? Because that would be really cool. I always love that. Okay, that one's just going to be straight down, and we're going to do that again over here. Like they dug it a little bit out. And that, terrain on top is going to, see, no, every week in the game. Oh, really? I don't remember that. I did have all of the previous Halos from Bungie, but I forgot about that. Now, the pictures were actually in the game in fileshare. Jeez. I can't believe I forgot about that. There was a section on Bungie favorite screenshots, videos, and Forge maps. Huh. I don't remember that at all, and I believe you, I just don't remember. It's like it completely left my memory. But that does sound like an amazing addition that they should definitely bring back. Let's see, on 360. Yeah. Huh. I guess I just didn't interact with them enough to recall or something, but yeah. It was a long time ago, unfortunately. Yeah, Faves had screenshots, maps, modes, and clip of the week. Yeah, I love checking the new screenshots while waiting to load and whatever. Yeah, they need to revamp theater mode to give us a proper photo mode. I agree. They need to fix theater mode just in general. It's just ridiculous, to be honest. That doesn't work. It's kind of a Halo staple ever since Halo 3. So they're basically wasting a lot of potential and a lot of time where they could be doing a lot better. That looks like a really nice transition right there. Yeah, I like that spot. Very natural looking. But then, okay, so the path that you're going to be driving, I want to be able to come up and around to come into the side of that, so I think that we need one more this direction. Let's see, for sure, let's see, Machinima, for example, for sure, really challenging to do right now. They must have wrought some horrible code for them to take this long to fix everything wrong with the game. Well, yeah, it almost feels like they're didn't finish what they were spending, what was it, like $500 million on? That's too much of the same material, image, or texture. It feels like they should have maybe finished the job before releasing or something, you know? Mainly the pics I generally take in Halo just serve a good memory with me and the boys. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, oh, dear lord. there is a dead spot in this rock. Okay, so I'm gonna have to definitely test for dead spots as far as collision is concerned for any of these that get scaled up enough, because that is a real concern. We found that out another time that I was doing this map, where there's like there's a spot where like everything goes haywire. Yeah, there's one. And I can fix that with smaller versions of them that are connected to them, sort of poking out of them. This is an area I just haven't done yet. So yeah, when everyone took a pick with energy swords and guns for wings, yeah, that was bad. Yeah, it was great. Throwing a grenade to make the screen black, getting a picture with the debris flying all over. Probably hired too many i9 workers that coded the way they normally would, without following a well-written layout by 343. Yeah, I just wish they'd stop doing contractors in like everywhere in gaming. It doesn't. It really is just the reason why gaming in general sucks right now. Why it's so hard to find a game that doesn't have bugs. Let's see. No engine can fix bad code. Exactly. And then they're underpaying people because they're not giving people what they what do you call it? They're using the fact that they're doing contract work to avoid things like paying for insurance that they would have to cover, that they'd have to give the people for coverage, so that they can avoid all of that. At least that's one of the things that EA does. And all sorts of stuff like that. Like, it's no good. Yeah, that does seem like a trend, honestly. Yeah, not just with Halo. Really looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom, though. Oh, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom looks great. I mean, Nintendo is pretty, let's say, very dangerous to deal with whenever it comes to their, like, legal stuff, like contracts and stuff like that. As far as, like getting sued. Like, that Bowser guy who was hacking stuff, for example. That guy is very unhappy now after having, been making mods. Or not mods, what do you call it? What's it called? Oof. I was so into the arting that my brain is just failing and everything else. Okay. He makes, ROMs is the word. And, he was making the ROMs for the Nintendo stuff, and boy, they are like suing the crap out of him and have him in jail for years. But like, aside from that, they generally just make their stuff less buggy and everything like that, and I just much prefer them, to be honest, most of the time. Okay, everyone's saying stuff. A lot of really buggy games. Scope. Okay, what? Okay. A lot of really buggy games, scope ballooning too fast with insane budgets that are not sustainable. Yeah, I can't wait for Zelda. My other hero dressed in green, right? And when writing code and not leaving comments explaining what your code does, hiring the next person to take over has to read thousands of lines of code just to understand what it's supposed to do. Exactly. They made that hacker because they made that hacker because he has to pay Nintendo for the rest of his life. Yeah. Yeah, that guy, he screwed himself. Really screwed the pooch on that one, as they say. Don't know why they say that, but they do. But yeah. I am going to adjust this to be a little more thick and a little bit more geologically sound. Because I had just thrown that one together before, and I liked the way it curved up from the ground, but it's kind of losing me there on its functionality for the overall aesthetic. You know what I mean? Gotta get that overall aesthetic going. Let's see. They made that hack. Let's see. I'm looking forward to see how the Tears of the Kingdom interacts with physics, since you can make your own vehicles. Yeah. I am too. That's what I got going on. I accidentally brought it to a scale size that I didn't want. I wonder if this is actually going to work. Let me see if I can walk into this. Okay, so there's an annoying little bug there. Let's see. Building with this terrain on a playable map is a bit tough because you have to consider all of this stuff. So that is the one downside to using exclusively this one rock, is that its collision box is imperfect, and that's a little rough. But it's overall just so nice that it's worth trying to work it out, because it's going to look so much better to have this as our situation here. Okay, I think I want to go up more with this and with this one, so that I can bring this one up a little more. And I'm getting my lines to line up correctly in a way that is not working right here. This one does not have those nice... What is that called, those lines? I think... Is that what they call striations, or is that just my mind just grabbing a random word that doesn't actually make any sense for this for that? Let's see. Hey, is there a limit on how many of one static object you can use? I've used like 300 of the same rock, and I'm just pondering as I watch you use many of the same rock. Yeah, I don't think there is. As far as I'm aware, there's no limit to how many of one object you can use. It's just limited on how many objects you can have overall, which is great. I basically want all my lines to generally flow in the same direction. Those like lines there, to sort of feel like this is the layering and then they've dug it up, you know what I mean? Not exactly the same direction because I don't want it to look bad, but generally I kind of want them to sort of line up every now and then. If I can get them to line up a bit, it's sort of a cheat sheet to make them look nice, because then it kind of looks like it flows. So even whenever you have stuff like this, that would actually happen in real life, because rocks would fall out of the crevice there and make a little alcove, and that's what we're trying to create, is a sort of natural feel. And then this kind of gives us like this. Okay, this looks much nicer than the flatter one I had before, because it's so big it's actually matching the scale of the map. And now we have to get rid of this for finally get rid of this terrible rock surface I had back here. Okay, let's see. Hey, okay, yeah, so is there a limit to how many of one static objects you can have, is what you're asking. And yeah, no, there shouldn't be. It should be fine to just keep on using them. Let's see. Because we're going to see a bit of the top of this one, I kind of want to make it curved a bit like this. I think I need to bring this one down, because this is going to get really wonky. If there's a way to pass inside this rock, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane, so I don't want this to be too bad. Yeah, that looks good, honestly. These lines want to be a little bit similar to the last one. Kind of make a bigger alcove here, which I was hoping, and that it wouldn't look terrible there. This one's lines are not lining up. But what I'll do is I'll actually put some more of the rocks there. I'll finalize some of this stuff later. What I'm going to do is mainly focus on the larger stuff, like getting it to look good in general. I want that cliff to be poking out toward the bases and giving us a big, solid cliff here, so that you're not like, I can climb up there. You know, I don't want to give you the idea that you should even try to climb up this thing, and I'm gonna have to probably use some pathing blockers, some team blockers, to make sure that this area is thoroughly, cleared. Let's see. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. And then, of course, out here is all mostly gonna be art. So I can put something out here. That's of that scale. That's a much larger scale, and then put stuff inside of it. Let's go all the way down, like this. And then I can cleanly... I had this thing's lines, this one's lines were not matching up perfectly with these, but this one will look like it's coming into it from an angle, like that. Like there's a bit of a pinching there, where like the tectonic plate was being maybe hitting two pieces that push it together. Oh, I never mentioned why. Oh, right, so last night, whenever I thought of all of this, the reason I thought of it and immediately thought that's a great idea, having the geological layering like the two tectonic plates hitting, because this is Zeta Halo, and as we know, Zeta Halo used to be bigger, but it detached chunks of itself to shrink its size, and when that happened, the Earth, the dirt, all of this stuff would have had to be like, it's on top of these hexes, right? And some of the hexes detach, the other hexes move together, and the tectonics on top of that get crushed together, just like that. And you end up with giant tectonic shifts like this. So all of this makes sense for the lore of Halo, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. I forgot all about that. I was going to mention that earlier, and I just I started to say it at one point, and then I just stopped, and I forgot to finish my sentence. But yeah, that's the internal consistency there for Halo lore. Okay, so this is already rising up really nicely with this like ledge here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lean off that. I'm gonna have it look like it's sort of fallen down a bit. And what I'm gonna do is have that, and then I'm gonna have some of. Ooh, no, not that. Copy it. And I'm gonna put another one on top of here. And I'm going to make this one have a very similar style of curl to it. And I want to make this look like, this is the idea, is a full-blown like cliff surface where some of it, and there's going to be lots of rocks down below, like boulders fell off. That's what I'm going to go for here. So sort of like a very sheer edge style of piece with lots of boulders fallen. I might even put, like, this piece is going to be, it was originally like an area that wasn't mined, that wasn't mined the same, but I think instead I'm going to make it like a giant chunk of rock that sort of fell out of up here. But we'll see how that looks, because, you know, it's got to look good in the process. Okay, so the smallest one at the bottom needs to look the most like, you know, because it needs to look the most accurate, most realistic. Let's see. There we go, that looks pretty good. And then the higher ones can be a little bit of a larger scale. And as I go back out of the map, I can make this one larger and larger. I can figure out a different edge. And it would go with how far this is going out, so I do need it to be I want to make it a sheer ledge, but I wanted to have it curl a bit, you know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. That looks really nice. I even like this little crevice here, that looks nice. Looks like water trickled down it. During a really cold rain one time, it broke it. It broke it up. Let's see. Here we go. There we have that. I like that. And then we will curl off the edge where it would sort of break away over time. Then we've got this nice... Ooh, that actually was kind of nice. Just by accident. Let's refine that. There we go. It's close, anyway. They got tilted a bit more so we don't poke out so far out at the bottom, because I only want to go down so far. I don't want to go all the way down there, you see. So this, right there we go. I like that. Looks like a slight landslide, you know what I mean? Like some of the way that's all like powdery looking. It looks like some of the rocks fell, but nobody died. So inconsistent with D&D logic. In case anybody's wondering, that means rocks fall, everybody died. Is the DM method of being like, okay, I'm mad, but I get the power. I have all the power, so rocks fall, everybody dies. It's a classic nonsense event you just pull out of your ass as the DM. But also, like, they actually had, like, rocks fall, make a saving throw to jump out of the way. Oh, you failed. Okay, well, that means that you took this much damage, and, ooh, that's more than you can handle, you died. That was an actual thing that used to happen, and, that happened a lot more in the past. It does still happen, but, obviously, everything that happened in D&D in the past still happens. Okay, I'm liking this. Okay, so now we've got this geological layering here. It's a fantastic start. My phone over here is vibrating. Yeah, we can keep going this way with a slope coming down naturally across this entire area. So it's going to be very, very straight. I didn't even select that one, just hit duplicate. Which I always forget is even a thing, even unless I accidentally do it. Oh, you know what? I need to do some red, some medium red first. Pink? The pink area? Yeah. I guess that's kind of purple. That's pink. That's sort of sandy red. And that's sort of orange. Got a bunch of different colors. There's actually a chance of there being like a green in deserts. And that would be kind of cool to incorporate. It's like a slight green in the stone. It's like a green-gray. Ooh, that's like practically the exact same spot down there, so I do not want to make those two repeat themselves. I'll actually flip this one over to give a sort of ledge. Ooh, that would be cool. Like, when they built this area, they really blasted the rock. Actually, it'd be something that'd be really quick and dirty. So blasting the rock with explosives is much more likely. And it would leave these giant alcoves where they blew it up, you know? And then above that would still be the normal layering. Let's see. So we gotta get a little bit shallower. And then go a little bit higher. Let's see. No. What's no? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, the gray, like the greenish rocks in a desert. Is that what you're saying no to? It's a subtle green, basically a gray that has a very light greenish hue to it. But if you're saying no, I'll believe you. I'm no expert in deserts. I'm from a swamp. I'm just I've just been to things like the Grand Canyon before that I'm going to base a lot of my knowledge off of, driven through deserts and seen enough like photos, you know what I mean? But if you can clarify, was replying to Michael. Oh, okay, gotcha. Hey, is there a limit to how many? Yeah. Gotcha. I was talking about, just a second ago, about how there are some greenish looking rocks in deserts. They're sort of like a green-gray. And then you happen to come in and say that kind of right after. Can't add on YouTube because that is dog shit on this website. Yeah, I really hate that. It's like, it's never reliable. If you try and do it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's never really great. I've tried to do it with YouTube, with tons of YouTubers in the past, and it's, yeah, like you're saying, it's just dog shit. Okay, let's see. I think I want to actually move this one to be closer to the edge, and find a rotation that looks a little better. I feel like I want it to come like right out of that rock without having that problem. That's what I'm trying to accomplish right here, by the way. I want it to come like right out of the edge with none of that happening. So I think that I've got to... Oh, wait. If I make it more extreme, will that curve be different? Yeah, here we go. I need to make this more extreme so I can find the right angle. Right spot. There we go. There's a good spot right here. There's an alcove there in the rock. Okay, cool. Okay. So we're going to flip this over and make this look like a plateau up here and not a plateau there, because like I said, I'm going to Gonna make them go into one another. Okay. There we go. Trying to get a good angle where the layering still happens in the right direction. It's kind of tough. And then I can put stuff up here, maybe even put like trees or something. Like some desert trees and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, we gotta keep this slope going. Find a better angle. There we go. And I do want to sort of maintain the shape that I had before. Hopefully I'm not adding in a massive area you can walk through. Let me go ahead and find out. Yes, I am. So this is where like the smaller rocks down low are way more important because their physics work a little bit better. So I will put some of that in there. Right now I'm just creating a sort of like, let's see, first off I want those lines to go. I'm trying to create basically just that idea of, you know, of the basic shape, and then I can put other stuff in front of it, as I keep saying. So let's see. Let's flip this over and find a good way to angle it. That has some lines in the right direction. And this needs to be a subtle slope going ever downward, basically. This one doesn't feel like it's going that downward, but we will get to that in just a moment. But we will adjust, adjust that by doing this right here. By giving the idea that this is the same rock continuing, and this is some kind of like really hard section. You see what I mean? Okay, so I do need to put, I'm gonna put more in front of that one because of that texture thing, so, or that collision box thing. So this will end up being a little bit smoothed over later. I might actually do that now so I don't forget. Let's see. So if I bring this down really small, it should fix the collision problem, and also create a sort of effect that we want. I can make it tall, I just can't make it wide. Let's see. Yeah. The problem is in making them wider. Whenever they're I think that what's happening is the collision box is scaling at a different rate than the rest of the object. That's my guess. And that is probably because the collision box is slightly smaller. Like they made it just a little bit inside the rock, so whenever it scales, that gap, the distance, scales with it and gets wider and wider and wider. So like the whole thing is scaling, right? Imagine this is the outer layer of the rock. This is the rock itself, this is the collision box. And it's like this, right? What's up? Oh yeah. Here's your paper for Liam's birthday present back at you yesterday. Oh, you want the puzzle you want to make him. Okay, we'll have to print something out for that, so we'll have to do that in a little bit, okay? But can you make his birthday card while you wait? Okay. So,
because he's asleep.
Yeah, perfect time. You're right. So, basically, you've got these two things. Collision box are, you know, the actual, like, texture, like the actual model, right? And they're, like, right next to each other whenever they're small at their regular scale. And then you go to scale them up, and because they have them not at the same spot, like, everything goes up by percentage. So let's say you double it in size, then you've now doubled the gap between those two, you know what I mean? And then you double that again, and you're now getting farther and farther away until you've got enough space between them for a Spartan to walk inside. That's basically what they're doing. How they messed those up is they made it to where it was probably an active decision at the time, because these rocks are kind of based on what they used in Korean, like pulled out of campaign, right? So they probably actively chose to use to sort of do that at one point because they wanted something about the way that the physics bounce off of the rocks and stuff like that, or they simplified the geometry of the rock whenever they made the physics like collision box. So whenever they did, they ended up making it not just simpler but also weaker. You know what I mean? So that's probably what they did, was they had to make some kind of compromise for what is it called? The word for that is not coming to mind right now. Optimization, that's the word. Just would not come to mind. Yeah, they're trying to optimize the code probably. I'm gonna use these shadows and those shadows, which are not the same shadow, but by putting them together, they look like this rock is just a continuation of that one. In a very nice way. I am at 50% of my budget on my simulation memory, and I haven't copied over some of my buildings yet. So that's, we're getting up there. And we don't have Klen's scripting in there yet either. I just copied that over. I haven't placed that yet. That's just garbage. The River 3 leadership completely different now. Yeah, I can't wait to see what the new leadership can do, because it's the guy who fixed the, you know, Master Chief Collection. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful now. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this like this, and I'm going to make it shorter. Like that. I really hope Season 4 fixes Forge. I mean, it's going to add a bunch of new stuff, so it's probably going to break Forge, let's be perfectly honest here. They're adding water and a whole bunch of other stuff, so before it fixes anything, it's going to break it. So let's all get ready for that. But yeah, hopefully it does thoroughly fix Forge. So this is just like creating my wall, and then behind that I'm going to have layers of just art rock. That will be the result of, or that'll be really important for whenever players get a flying vehicle and come to the edge of the map or whatever and like look over. I'm gonna make this shorter, but yeah, exactly. you're just like, wow, yeah. I'm just saying exactly because like, yeah, it's gonna be a thing where first it's gonna break and then it's gonna get better. Mainly because they're having to keep up with the demand for speed of development and releases. They're having to. I actually kind of like that repeating pattern, because sometimes that actually does happen, especially in nature whenever they're shearing. Because like there will be like a big rock here, and it'll like, you know, like it can cause like an effect against it, and then like move and shit like that. So like, you can actually have repeating patterns in nature very frequently. It's just what happens after that that tells you whether or not it's actually a repeating pattern. And so you've got to have like making truly random stuff is difficult for humans. So kind of have to go and say, well, actually, I mean, yeah, sure, it's not entirely supposed to repeat itself. There. Now it kind of like goes around a curve, so it doesn't feel like an actual repeating pattern, even though it is a repeating pattern at the same time. So that can just kind of happen, and you can kind of roll with it. You don't have to make everything like no repeating patterns ever, you know what I mean? Let's see. Now this is mainly, I think this is going to keep going this way, possibly going to keep going out as well and curve this way. Actually, this oasis right here would be kind of cool to lead into, right? So actually, I have a question. Your arted rock here, that's designed to look like those rocks, isn't it? Yeah. I think. Let's go take a look. So more of a gray. See, I think that's what the gray desert rock, like the inherited terrain, the IT terrain was supposed to look like, and they accidentally turned on shininess. And if they just turn off the shininess, it'll all look better again. And it's kind of frustrating, because like this would look great with that kind of rock. And I think they like, look how it's all like white and chalky and stuff like that. And you know, things get darker whenever you turn on the shininess, right? So that, because you know, you can see that whenever you grab something like this, right? And this one already has shininess. So okay, here we go. That dark green, right? If I went on for shininess, it gets darker. And if this is darker than it normally would be, because it's shiny, imagine if you turn that off and it just became chalky white and not shiny anymore. It would look a lot like that. So I'm wondering if we don't just like inform 343 if they could literally just come in and fix this problem, because they probably are literally just have a toggle that turned on shininess for this texture behind the scenes. So, like if we contact them and make a fuss about it, they might actually be able to fix it pretty quick and easy. Okay, we're gonna flip this over. Bring it up here. Then we need some of that actual... Actually, you know what? No, not this one. I'm gonna do this one. Flip it over and do the exact same thing. Because what I want is... Oh, I didn't want to make it that tall. What I want is to make it look like it's coming up out of that rock, like this. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So like this kind of stuff can happen in nature because there's heavier rock, there's more heavy rock on top of it that's sort of balancing it and keeping it in place. So you just want to keep that consistency going. Let's see. I know I'm preaching to the choir with Aaron. Aaron knows everything about how to make good art for the environment. Or he's studied enough of the videos too. Like he goes online and watches a bunch of videos, and he's studied them and sent some to me actually. I kind of like that. I like that shape a lot. It was an accident, but I like it a lot. Kind of creates a sort of cave there. Which sharp shadows like that, or like detailed shadows like that are important for making cliff sides look really interesting. Because you can just make a giant rock surface, but like, that shape looks nice. Yeah, right? And like, the way it's creating that sort of alcove, I need to create more of those because like, that really is a great effect that occurs. And if I just sit here and put block, 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 I'm going to end up with like a sheer ledge. I mean, I can sort of create stuff like this, but then like, why is this even here? I don't even need that anymore. Let's see. I need to make Cliffside Town, aka Pueblo. Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be really awesome, actually. Yeah. Jeez, I just really wish that that wasn't shiny, because if I could just leave that there with some cool gray rocks down here in the sand, it would be amazing. I'm going to leave that there for a little bit, and I'm going to try and contact Michael Shore and be like, listen, I think that they really just toggled the texture, the shininess layer on this. It doesn't look like that, and we need this fixed. We really do. It's kind of garbage and useless how it is. And he might be like, oh, okay. Because who knows, maybe he doesn't know. And it would just be a matter of letting him know. Bring it up to the team. Maybe they don't know. Maybe it was working at one point internally, so they didn't have any bugs in the system for it for a while, and then now that the game's out, or now that Forge is out, they have to be told, hey, by the way, this thing happened. That's more than I want to happen there. Ooh, it's filling in my little cave thing. I actually kind of liked it a little bit in there. You know, it kind of gives a little bit of a better shape than that little triangle to show some like exposed rock that's not normally exposed kind of thing. There we go. That's a good spot. Okay, let's see how that looks on the outside. Awful. Well, let's focus on this being an art block because that's what it's supposed to be. What'd you say? Looks kind of like a dinosaur's head? Yeah, it kind of does. Like a fossil? You don't know how to draw what? A rhino? Oh, Rhino from Spider-Man. Do you want to get a picture of Rhino to look at? You also have the toy. Yeah, this is looking really cool. I'm liking this a lot. Let's see. If you base your drawing off the toy, it would let you draw. I'm actually kind of liking that this collision box is broken right here, because it's making this otherwise sheer ledge. This is no good, but that sheer ledge there is not able to be climbed, which is good because I didn't want people to climb that. It's the you know, it's the outer barrier, so it's kind of acting almost like a team barrier. Oh, cool! There's a little sort of hiding spot there. I can try to emphasize some of those. Okay, we've gotten up a little bit away here by just running at it. There's a little bit of going into the rock here. If I duck, I bet you can see through it. Yeah. There you go. So there's some stuff I've got to do to some of these, but mostly that actually worked out really nicely. The playable space is not too messed up. Grapple shots are going to have to be brought into consideration. For example, if you can grab the skull and grapple shot up here and launch yourself through like a crevice between two rocks and end up in like a little alcove that no one can see into, that could be a problem. And Ocom will find it. I've seen his YouTube videos. If you guys haven't, you should check him out. I've seen him, and he will find it. Absolutely. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit harder to delete and then keep going alongside it because I didn't put like a sand dune like this that sort of like went into it. You know what I mean? Like this was going into those other rocks. Did the music turn off or? Yeah, it did. Okay, so over here you can see that I left that sand, I made that sand go up the cliff, right? So I've been using that as my guide because I knew that I had made those dunes be going up the cliff like that, right? But I don't have a guide going all the way around here. So all I have is the base. But honestly, that might be pretty good because now I can redesign how this looks and make it look a little cooler to play off of the way this base is built. And maybe even allow myself to a little bit of time to sort of maybe partially redesign the base. Not entirely. And I will explain what I mean by that because I had this thought about extending the platform wider since it's got this vehicle on it and stuff like that to make an actual ramp back here to come up it. That way it'll imply that you should potentially try and make this route and then you can use this as cover as a means of coming to the space. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to duplicate this. And we're going to rotate it and get started on that. Let's see. Now I like the idea of making this look like it's rising up, but eventually it needs to come to a flat surface. It needs to be a flat surface that really shows why it was able to rise over that one, so it can't be too much lower than this one. In fact, it might want to be a little higher. So you see how I've got the altitude of that red there, and this one's there? That gives you the implication that this one was already higher, and that's why it pushed off the top of that one and started rising up over it whenever they started colliding. So that kind of gives you this this effect there. Now what I want to do is use some desert terrain coolness to make that effect I was just talking about. So I'm going to make it curve around. Like Aaron has been saying, I might need to go ahead and replace all of these with my own sand that matches the ground if I have the ground exposed anywhere. The ground's going to be exposed out there and have some like random sand dunes that are TI terrain or something like that. Maybe not TI terrain. Something out there outside the map just for a backdrop, but I'm not going to do anything inside. Sorry, I'm forging. What were you saying? Oh, I was just saying that you've been telling me since like the beginning, drop the TI terrain on these dunes, right? While it looks, I heard something about studying. Oh, you were saying, I was saying before that you have been studying terrain design and stuff like that with like videos that people have made in the industry for others to learn from and stuff like that, and that you're really good about that because I was mentioning your skill there. And then immediately just now, coincidentally, I was also saying that you've been telling me to drop these TI terrain and replace them with the regular sand dunes and color them to match the ground, which I could do. It won't necessarily look perfect, but this looks less than perfect already, so not really much of a point in trying to maintain, you know, how it looks now. But if we can get 343 to fix it and turn off the shininess and make them look like this, then I would love to just keep these how they are, because that would work perfectly. But anyway, that's all I was saying. Let's see. Do want to... Okay, so what I was gonna do with this was... What I was thinking about is this building is cool, but I want it to kind of stretch around the back. And what I was thinking was this column over here will be my inspiration. Just grab one of each, even though it won't look good whenever I copy them. What I want to do is make essentially a little like tunnel area. That let's see. So we're gonna scale this up and put it down into the ground, right? And then we're going to sort of rotate it a bit to give it the idea of a little bit of a some of that's down low, right? And then we're gonna put this on top, like we've been doing. And this is going to be a simple version, and then I will, you know, I'll add some more to make it look a little better later. But first, I'm just sort of going to get the implication of it, get the impression of what we're trying to do here. And then we're going to go up. Let's go ahead and make it get wider here by flipping it over and using the wide side on the base, like that. This is where I believe I need to, yeah, I'm going to do this. So that'll look better. There we go. And then this needs to get just a little bit smaller so that we have more of that lower layer. And then we go and grab the top layer. Actually, that isn't the top layer. Oh boy, whoops. I mean, I already have the top layer. This is supposed to go below that layer. Because I forgot that was before I incorporated this one. Let's go and move this up. Rotate it. Scale it. Bring it over here. Here we go. Oop. Nope, not quite right. Here we go. There we go. That looks pretty good. Nope, still not quite right. Let's go this way and then rotate it a bit. There we go. That should look good. There we go. I like how that line goes down into that line really nicely. Let's see how it looks on the other sides. And that looks pretty good on the other sides too. I like it. And then, what'd you say? How do you draw a rhino? Well, you're gonna have to... He needs a horn. He's all gray. He's big and strong. And he fights Spider-Man.
You're just talking about him and not showing him.
Yeah, you're right. I need to find pictures of him. I need to find someone's drawing of him. That way you can kind of copy it. You don't have to be too perfect though. I know you get like lots of you like to be really, really perfect with your drawings. But you don't want to be too perfect, because then you may not finish. You know what I mean? Uh-oh. 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 Liam's waking up. Hide your thing. Quick.
I'm making a Liam's birthday card.
Yeah, she's trying to make Liam's birthday card. Can you bring him out of here for a second? She doesn't want him to see. Let's see. Oh, I heard something about studying. Like father, like son. I see that your family has an eye for detail. Oh, yeah. So that looks nice. I like that a lot. And it's just 4 rocks. It hasn't even been fully, like... I'm sure I can detail it out more, but once it's surrounded in good detail work, it won't look bad at all. And the idea is that now we've got, you know, a path people will want to take this route. You know, so they can actually assault the base from behind. But also, so if they don't want to come up here, or if they come up here and they hop off, they can come around here. It'll make a little bit more of an interesting terrain there. We're going to continue to finish this part, and then we're going to move on. Let's see. I like that a lot. Let's do some more stretching that way. Sort of give it a... Yeah, my kids are very, they very much like to, they like their, like you said, they have an eye for detail. Exactly. Very artistic. Now if we go ahead and do a slope here, it will imply why this is all here, like rocks that sort of fell down. I think that'll look good. And this does happen in rock too, so I really like that shape too. And then we're going to grab this. I have a lot of these that are smaller up here in a sort of pattern, and I think I need to do more of them that are bigger. You know, because those large sweeping shapes are actually really good for this, for what I'm trying to accomplish here. So getting those in there is actually really good. Even though it looks like that would be like compromising, you know what I mean? Like, oh well, you know, maybe that would be like losing detail. But it's actually really good to have these giant sweeping lines in the rock, so I'm not too upset about losing those details. If I do this, technically, it'll look like a boulder from above fell down there. Nah, not so much. It's not the right angle for that, to imply that. Let's see. I think... Not quite. I'm almost done. And then I'll show you. I don't especially like that line. I kind of feel like my horizontal lines have been lost there. Ooh. I kind of like that. Okay, so what if I bring this in? I do this layer like this. Oh, it's so hard with this angle. Something about this is really tough here. I'm not sure what, but if I can just get it to come straight up out of that rock, that would be great. Without having all these like sharp points. And then I'm almost done here. Let's see. You know what I need to do? I think I need to flip it over and use this side. This will probably make it smoother, easier to transition out of, and give... Which actually, this layer always seems to be the one I flip over. Like I'm flipping it over every single time. This layer seems to be like this. Maybe it's harder rock, you know what I mean? So it's got a bit of a better grip. And so every time I keep on doing that, I keep on just flipping it over because this layer ends up being the one that wants to like protrude out because the layer beneath it is too round. So like I keep on trying to find a good angle for the rocks and it just ends up not working until I end up flipping it over and then it works. So I think I might end up leaning into that a little bit. I'm also seeing why I kept scaling these to be smaller is because whenever I use the smaller ones, it's a little bit easier to get that to go right. Let's do one of these. This is my capstone sort of piece. That will be of this other kind of layer. And there we have some very nice. Yeah, I like that. I like how that's sloping there. How it is over here. Let's do some like that. Looks really cool. I'm liking that a lot. We haven't even gone up to... I looked at the percentage, simulation memory, earlier. We were over here somewhere, and I was like, oh man, we're already at 50%. Oh no. And I was worrying about my percentage, about my use. Just look down again. We're still at 50%. We're good. We're very good. Let's see. I kind of want to finish out this area here before I get off, so that's going to be what I'm going to do. Ooh, I like that. I like how it's sticking up right there. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm liking that. And then we want to turn it around and get that slope on this side. Because I really like the slope. Ooh, wait, actually, let's go shorter, not taller. What is it that's happening here? I think the problem is that the slope is too gradual. I like the slope, but I want it to be there. I want it to be there, but I don't want it to be too gradual that the other rock pokes through. So I've got to make it a little longer and a little bit subtler. There we go. That, I think, might be perfect. Yeah, that looks nice. It's creating this nice little shadow right there. And then we will get one last piece in here, just to sort of finalize this area that I was working on. And let's do this. Let's try to create some of those little alcoves, the shadows and the darkness, you know? Having that there, yeah, I like that. So down here, you're looking up at it and you're seeing all those dark areas and light areas and the different color rock, and it's looking really cool. I'm liking that a lot. I might adjust this one now. There we go. That's a little better. I like the way that looks a little better. Because now it's got that area that pokes out in the middle, but then on the sides it's supported. So it feels like it would be a natural formation that could form and then also sustain itself. Now we're going to slope down into the ground at this point. So it kind of looks like it's like rising up and then going down and coming up again. So like maybe this is underground and actually bulging up right here, lifting this part, because like that would end up curling a bit, like as they go underneath each other, right? Eventually this might hit a harder rock, maybe even forerunner structure. Whenever that happens, it's going to cause it to curl, right? Whenever it causes it to curl, it's going to raise the land above it. So now we've got this sort of like you know, almost like my knuckles here, you know what I mean? Like it's pushing my knuckles up and then it's also raised up like this, you know what I mean? Kind of like that shape. So it's kind of raised there just a bit. It's not really. It looks like it's just flat. But why is it flat? Well, that's because underground there's something raising it up that's making it flat. It's sort of sloped down to here a bit and then slope back up to this really sharp rise. And that would be because of what's going on underground, where it's sort of curling and lifting. And this is information I went and studied online so I could make D&D maps. So, yeah. So that's basically that. But basically this kind of stuff would be cool around the map in various areas. Right now it's going to be there. I think on the other side, to sort of imply the same thing, well, it'll be the underside. The side's going under in the same spot over here, you know, because it'll be the low side. So what I might do is actually copy this over to the other side and use this one on the other side. And then on this side, I might make it to where it comes all the way up, matching these geological layers. You know, instead of being a tiny version of it, matching those geological layers, coming up and then attaching to the cliff, like a you know, like there's a hole in the middle that collapsed out, you know what I mean, or something to that effect. But yeah, so that might be what I'm gonna do with that. But right now it looks great, and it's gonna be great behind a base to have this here, but I think I want that to be behind that base, so it's on the low side, because if you compare that thing, that little column, over to this one, it almost matches up with the height. I'm probably going to make it taller to make it really match up. But the implication this is sloping down, as you can see, it's kind of sloping down this way, means that geologically there was a dip here. So, yeah. What were you saying again? Sorry, I'm zoning out while forging, lol. Gaming. Oh, yeah. So, not sure which parts you're talking about. Was it the geological stuff I was just talking about, or was it about earlier whenever I was saying you were telling me to get rid of these and replace them with hand textured like manually textured ones. In which case I'll just copy the rotation and location and everything, which means I'll probably want to do that off stream because it's a whole bunch of copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. It'll be very boring on stream. And then whenever I do get it to the right place, I can make it, you know, do some cool stuff. But if that's what you're talking about. But yes, there's a little cave back here. Almost thinking about leaving that there and using it as a respawn point for the team, you know? If I have little caves like that in the back of the rock, I could make that a respawn point for the team. That, like, wouldn't be a high priority respawn point. It would be sort of outside the high priority base respawns. But it would be a safe zone that it could grab from. But anyway. Alright, well, I gotta get going. So, yeah. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. But, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. I think this is looking great. I'll catch you guys later.